Welcome to Cavaletto Studios. I'm Chris. Today is all about the arms, but we will start by foam rolling 3 areas that I believe are pretty important to get to as much as possible. The glutes, the upper back, and the quads. But then we will use the tennis ball and some small bouncy balls to work our way from the hands to the shoulders. This is a great class for anyone with some wrist or elbow issues to get those trigger points taken care of. So let's get started. All right, we're going to sit up on top of the roller to get started. So starting on the left glute, feet flat on the floor. So today is all about the arms, but we're going to get our basic 3 areas that we should be rolling all the time: the glutes, the quads, and the upper back. So I want you to lean back on that left arm. Feel free to use a block under your arm if you need it. And you're going to roll all the way to the top of the glute and all the way to the bottom, getting that whole area massaged out, finding any of those trigger points, that crystallized fascia tissue, speed bumps, road blocks, whatever you want to call it. Almost there. 2 more rolls, and then we're going to change up the position of that leg, and we're going to go a little bit deeper into that left glute. And then we're going to bring that left ankle up and over and place it on top of that thigh. Open up the knee and roll some more. So believe it or not, that fascia tissue, if you've seen any of my other videos, the feet can affect you all the way up to the shoulder. But today we're going to really focus on the arms. So I just want to get those main areas as well that can get super tight, just so you can continue functioning throughout your day. And then go ahead and drop to your elbow. Keep the knee bent and crossed at the ankle, and then just rock side to side. Getting right in the middle of that glute. Excellent. Couple more rock and rolls. And then pause right in the middle. We're going to uncross that leg, straighten it out. And just rest here and then rock again side to side with the legs straight. And just notice what you're feeling. Excellent. Then we're going to slide all the way up. Bend the knee, sit in front of that roller. So we want to stretch that area. So cross the left ankle over the side we just stretched, so you can really stretch out that left glute. Hugging the knee, sitting nice and tall, hand behind the back. Flex that right foot. Just feel the stretch. And notice what's going on in the chest, the shoulders, when you reach the arm. How's that bicep feeling? We're going to get into stretching through the fingers, the hands today, up through the forearm, the biceps and triceps, and to the rear and front and back deltoids, which all affect the arm and the shoulder. And then we're going to release that leg. Let's go to the other side. So you're going to lift yourself up onto that roller, and we're going to do the right glute. So you're leaning back onto that right hand. Lean to the right butt cheek, and then roll to the top and the bottom of that glute. And notice the difference. Oh, I definitely noticed the difference today. So this can change day to day depending on what you've been doing, whether you've been sitting a lot or being very active, even what shoes you've worn. One more roll up and down, and then we're going to take that right ankle and cross it over the left thigh. Open up the knee, and let's roll it again. All the way down to the sits bones, up to the top of the glute, using the left foot on the floor to control your movement. Pushing into that floor. We're getting there, almost there. 2 more rolls. Then we're going to drop to our elbow and just pause here and then just do a gentle rock side to side. See what's going on there. Check in with the shoulder and the arm, how it's feeling. So we're going to loosen all that up. Then we're going to uncross that right foot. And you're just going to do, again, a gentle roll across those glutes. Some of our big, strong muscles of the body, they work hard to get us up and down from the chair, up and down the stairs. All right, last one. Then go ahead and bend the knee. Use your arm to press yourself up. Let's slide to the floor. And we're going to stretch that right glute, so sit up tall. Pull that right foot across the left thigh. We're going to hold on and hug that right knee with the left arm. Reach your right hand behind you as a kickstand and feel that glute stretching out. Oh, feels so good. Sometimes just that little twist releases things, flexing that left foot. Enjoy that stretch. So from here, we're going to move to upper back. We're just going to do a nice little rinse of the upper back by foam rolling it on that roller. So unwind and uncross that leg. Adjust yourself. We're going to lean back and onto the upper shoulder blades, hands behind the ears. And we're going to lift the hips and then roll your body. Adjust your feet where you need to as you roll to the top of the shoulder blades and then to the middle and the back where the belly button would come through on the bottom side. You might get a little natural chiropractic adjustment there. So do you remember what that third area is that I say we should roll all the time? Yep, it's the quads. So 2 more rolls, and then we're going to move on to the quads. 1 more. Good. And then we're going to lower the hips and push yourself up. Give your arms a wrap around the knees. Stretch out the upper back a little. Drop your chin. And then release. Excellent. Now you're going to flip over, and you're going to go onto your elbows like you're going to a plank. Because, you know, everybody likes to do some planks every now and then, engage that core and work those core muscles. So you're going to go, that roller's right above the knees, and we're going to move our body forward and back 1 inch. So just touching base with the quads, keeping the knees healthy by massaging out those quadricep muscles will keep them moving more in alignment, preventing injury. Then we're going to walk the elbows back 1 inch and move that roller up and down 1 inch. And the goal here is to relax as much as you can. I know, way easier said than done. Then we're going to walk the elbows back and roll forward and back very gently. So even if you can just spend a few minutes each day rolling these 3 areas, glutes, upper back, and quads, that is the key. And then we're going to roll it up a little more, forward and back. And then when you get to the top, we're going to slide off the back, and we're going to take a child's pose. Separate your knees, feet together. Reach that roller out. Now, I want you to place your hands on the roller and just notice how those arms feel and the quads. Stretch it all out. And we're stretching those quads over the knees and giving the arms a little stretch at the same time. Excellent. Good. So we're going to come all the way up, and you're going to have a seat. And we're going to just set the roller to the side for now. And this is where you're going to want your yoga block close by. And you're going to want a tennis ball, bouncy balls, whatever you have on hand. So today what we're going to do is when we're going to work the arms, I said, but we're going to start with the hands. And we've done some stuff before in other videos with the tennis ball. But I want to show you some options here, and I have them the different sizes. So this is basically one of the the ball that you would use to play jacks with, if you even know what jacks are, the game. Otherwise, you can get these like Party City, Party Planet, like a Walmart, Target, wherever, on Amazon, different sizes. But they have small ones too, and they're great for hand therapy. And the hand therapy balls that I have are probably in between these two sizes. So whatever works for you. If you do not have the little ones, I will demonstrate some things you can do with the different sizes. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is with your tennis ball, because pretty much everyone can have a tennis ball. So we're going to do our juicing the orange technique. So in making the C shape and placing it on the tennis ball and start to juice the orange. Now, if it's hard, if you're struggling getting some good leverage there, place it on a yoga block and you can juice the orange. You can even press the other hand on top and spread out those fingers and juice the orange. So that's one possibility. I'm just massaging out into whatever hand is, I'm on my right. So sometimes you might have some tender spots right there because of using the mouse on the computer. Then you're going to go more to the center and you're going to start to draw circles on the center of the palm. So as I'm drawing circles, I'm going right around the knuckles, that whole area. So option, if you have the, actually the little one, either size, you can do the same thing. You can do circles with the bouncy ball, and you can use any size of the bouncy ball. And sometimes like a key lime, they're small enough, you can use those as well. Sometimes I've heard people use avocado seeds. And if you can, the nice thing about the little bouncy balls, you can get a little more into that restrictive tissue, like crystallized tissue. You might feel, it sounds like, it feels like a crunchy, we call it. Not the technical term, of course. If you find one, you want to just wiggle those fingers. Again, depending on what kind of size little bouncy ball or tennis ball you have. And you can even do it with the tennis ball. You can add a little pressure on the base of the palm and wiggle those fingers. And you can go up into the fingers. So you're going the different ways. Now once you've done that and you've gotten the whole hand massaged out, one of the things you can do with a smaller little bouncy ball is you can go between the fingers. You can place the bouncy ball between the fingers and do a little gentle squeeze release. This is great also for arthritic fingers. It's very refreshing, I would like to say, because you're basically getting nutrients and hydration to the area, and then you go to the next one and you do squeeze release. And you can do this about, you know, between 5 and 10 times, whatever feels good to you. It's kind of like squeeze, release, make a little fist, and go to the next one. So you're doing each one. Right, bring it down so you can see it. And then the last, even the thumb and the first finger. Just a little squeeze. So a tennis ball isn't going to work. It's too big. So you're not going to be able to do that. So another option is maybe to take 2 fingers in between, and you can do it that way. Just getting a little squeeze in there. And that just helps with the joints. Helps get some blood flow and oxygen in there. When you're done with those, what I want you to do is hold on to the pinky right at the fingernail and just do a gentle wiggle and pull. Not hard. You're just doing a little one, just gentle. You might get a little pop, maybe not. We're not doing it really. Nothing's happening today from my fingers. Oh, there we go. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. We're not doing this or anything, just a little pull. Thumb, we don't do that. Thumb's a little different because you've got a couple of joints. We don't want to pop anything out. You just hold at the base, do a gentle pull and wiggle. Pull and wiggle. So we don't hold the thumb at the top. And then you open and close. Excellent. Let's try the other hand. So the other hand, you're going to do, again, that C shape, cupping it like you're juicing that orange, maybe adding a little pressure, massaging it out. And you want this to feel good, and then you're going to draw circles. And again, you can use a smaller one of the little ball, bouncy balls if you want. If that feels better to you, then you just know to go, you can go purchase one sometime if you want to try it out. want this to feel good. Again, you'll find those crunchies if you're using a smaller one. You can go up into the fingers, roll it all the way up and down. There's different methods to get into the trigger areas of the fingers, especially when you go across the knuckles right on the inside part. Right here at the middle, you might find some crunchy spots. Just wiggle those fingers, little movements. And then when you're done, you're going to take the bouncy ball between the fingers and do a little gentle squeeze, gentle squeeze. If you don't have one, a couple little fingers or one, maybe even the thumb, it's a little bigger. And then the next one, squeeze, squeeze. And you're not forcing anything. And then go to the next one. And you'll just find more blood flow, everything. So when you think about your fingers, it's interesting because the muscle runs up, from the arm, the shoulder down the arm, to the hand, to the palm, where they end at your fingers. Your fingers are ligaments and tendons. There's not muscles that run up into here. So when we're moving our fingers, it's all coming from down here. So we want to keep the blood flow and the nutrients going to the tendons and ligaments. A little science for you there. And then once you've done all the little areas, then we're just doing, again, holding the fingernail area of the pinky and just do a gentle wiggle pull. Not yanking hard, just a little. And then a little of the next one. And then the next one. So you're doing each finger just gently. And then the base of the thumb, always hold the base of the thumb and just do a small movement back and forth. And wiggle the fingers. Yay. Excellent. So then we're going to move up the forearm. So again, you can use that tennis ball. And you can place it on the wrist, gentle press. And you're just doing a little tiny circles, like you're kind of like juicing the orange again as you massage up that front of the forearm. Your hand can be on the floor, it can be on your block or your thigh. And we're just going to go up to the base of the forearm, the meaty part, all right in here. Now, if you have a smaller ball, you can do that. Sometimes if you have hair on your arm, yeah, it can grab your hair on the arm. Sorry, guys, that have the hair. When you get up to the top of the forearm, whether you have a smaller bouncy ball or the tennis ball, just add a little pressure and then bring your hand up and you're going to pull the fingertips to the sky and then make a fist and push your hand down, up and down, as you're pressing the ball into that forearm. Now we're going to get a little more into this even without any tools. So if you don't even have tools, you can always use your thumb. So whether you're doing the tennis ball, you're still doing it up and down. If you have no tools at all, you're going to just use the thumb. That works too. We can make this work. Okay, now whatever ball, go ahead and place them on the floor. Now everyone's going to use their thumb. So you're going to place your thumb on the forearm, whichever arm you're on. And just gently do a press into the meatiest part, like wherever you can find the biggest part of that forearm. And then open up your fingers. Now I want you to rotate the palm and the hand up and down. Just a gentle rotation as you press the thumb. So you're going to feel it. It might even feel like a little bit like cords, or you're popping over something, that bone. And then move the thumb up a little higher, closer to the elbow. And just notice if you have some trigger spots there. If you have some, just hold it and wiggle those fingers. If you make a fist, you can feel it'll pop out, that muscle engages, and then release the fingers. And then rotate again. Just finding what you have going on. Maybe moving towards the back side of it, a little further to the far edge, and then rotate that hand. Adding a little pressure. Don't dig in too deep. Excellent. Now you're going to reach the hand forward. Take the arm you were just working, straighten it out in front of you. Fingertips are hanging down to the floor. place your opposite hand on the back of your hand. So I'm reaching my left arm out, and I'm placing my right hand on the top of it, and I'm pressing down. So I'm stretching out that forearm where we just did, and wiggle those fingers. And then flip it over and just hold the fingertips and do a reverse. You can even pull the elbow in, get a little different stretch there. We're going to work our way up to bicep. And then release. Now we're going to go to the other arm. So again, using that tennis ball, working your way up. Just little circles. Now you're going to find a difference on one side than the other. When you get up to that meaty part of that arm, your hand is out, and we're just going to move up and down. It's a great one. You can practice these while you're doing, watching TV, hanging out. You can show your friends. If you play a sport, baseball, tennis, bowling, if you cleaned a lot, cleaned your house, and your forearms are like you've been scrubbing the tile, it gets tired. Good. Open and close those fingers. Good. Now we're going to place the tennis ball down, or the bouncy ball, whatever you were using. You can also use, you could have used that bouncy ball there, whatever feels good to you. Place it on the floor. That thumb is now going to be, if you're not sure, just make a fist, and you'll see the muscle pop out there. Then relax it, and we're going to rotate. So you're rotating the palm up and down as that thumb is there. And just notice what's going on. Sometimes it's a little surprising that there's some spots there. Move that thumb a little higher. This was always a good one for people, in the college waiting tables, carrying the trays. That whatever arm you carry the tray on, this is the area that gets really sore. Keep going, a little higher. Massage it out. If you're having to hold a kid, in your forearm, or you're holding a kid and doing everything with the other hand, check that out. That's another one. Nice. And just play around, what feels good. Getting those trigger points if you find one. Maybe wiggle the fingers. Massage it a little, never forcing it. All right, now we're going to release that arm. Straight out, fingers down. Place the opposite hand on top, and then wiggle those fingers. You can even bend the elbow, but you're going to get a little more stretch with it straight. So stretching out the top of that arm, all the way out. Then you're going to flip the palm up, hold the fingertips, and stretch the forearm this way. And this one you can bend the elbow if you want to get a little stretch differently, or you can keep it straight, make it a little deeper. Go with what works for your shoulder so you're not pushing it up into the ear. Good, and then we're going to release. Nice. Okay, so from here, we got the forearm, both sides. Now we're going to move up the arm. We're going to move into the tricep. So to get the tricep, we're going to start with the block and the tennis ball. And I'm going to turn sideways so you can see. Move those out of the way. We'll use those bouncy balls a little bit later. And this way, there. Okay, so you're going to go turning that block longwise. If you do not have a block, I'm going to show you a couple options as well. So one option is to get that tricep right on, so you're in a child's pose, and you're placing your tricep on that tennis ball, and you're going to bend and straighten that arm. Now, if that's too low option, you're going to need to hold the tennis ball if you're way up high here, and you can bend and straighten if that's easier for you. Third option, no block, or it's too challenging to get down there, hold the tennis ball, bend and straighten. And you can even do the same thing that we're doing down on the floor by moving that tennis ball gently up the back of the arm. So you play around with what feels okay to you, gently bending and straightening. Now the palm is facing down as you straighten and bend. You can always turn the thumb up So just changing the angle of your wrist is going to change what's going on in that tricep. And move it up. So wherever you are, whatever works for you. You can even be all the way down, but that is a little more intense. If you want to get that intensity in there, you can always lay on your belly. It's all about options, what works for you. Getting that angle and moving it around on that tricep. And you might feel it all the way up into the shoulder. So when you're done with this tricep, we are going to go to the other tricep. So you're going to just take it, again, wherever you are. I'm just going to stay down here, and you're going to place it on the tricep on the tennis ball, which is on the block, or just holding the tennis ball under your tricep and straighten and bend. And notice the difference on this side compared to the other side. How is it feeling? Any trigger spots? If you just did triceps the day before, if you worked out, you did a lot of yoga and chaturangas, maybe your triceps are a little sore. Again, trying different angles. You can even turn your palm up. The best is down though, and thumb up, because you're going to get those, get deeper, move that tennis ball a little higher, straightening and bending that elbow. Hello tricep, right? You're like, oh, no wonder my elbow hurts. Or if you get higher up into the shoulder, maybe you got some shoulder issues and that tricep is talking to you. And maybe it feels better to move the wrist. Your arm will naturally go what feels better. And just try different angles. And get as close to you as you can going up that tricep towards the back of that arm. Keep bending and straighten and move it up a little higher. We're almost there. Good. So when you're done with that tricep, we're going to come up. Go ahead and place your block to the side for a moment in the tennis ball. This is where you're going to get your roller. And you're going to bring your roller out in front. We're staying in bent knees on the floor. We're going to bring our elbows and triceps to that roller. And what we're going to do is we're going to stretch those triceps. So you're going to separate your elbows. And the goal is to get as close to that roller as you can. Maybe bring your forehead down and bring your hands together and bring your thumbs towards your spine or your head. You can even turn your fingertips, palms down towards the back of your shoulders. Now I want you to just rest here in 3 breaths, nice and quiet. Notice what is going on in those triceps. Is one stretching out more than the other? Are you feeling it all the way up into the shoulder? Is there something going on in your shoulders? Then go ahead and straighten out both arms. Good. Now walk that roller a little bit closer so you're still on those triceps. And then just rotate the palms down towards the floor and then open them up, rolling the thumbs out. So again, we're still getting the triceps, but just a different angle. And then roll that roller a little closer, reach those arms, even maybe put your chin on the roller if that's comfortable to you. If it's not, don't worry about it. It might be hard to get this close to the floor for some of you. And then rotate, you're working those arms up as high as you can. Notice how one might be more sensitive than the other. And then we're going to release a couple shoulder rolls. Come all the way up. Excellent. All right, so now we're going to continue moving up the arm. We're going to get to the front, but not yet, because I want to continue that tricep journey to the rear delt. So right up in here where it all connects. So go ahead and slide your block is going to be out of the way, and this is where you're going to want your tennis ball. And we're going to lay on our backs, and our head is going to be on the roller like a pillow. So sending that tennis ball up the tricep like we just were, going to the very, very top of the arm, where the arm and the shoulder connect is where that tennis ball is going to go. So you shouldn't be hitting any bones there. You're going to bring the elbow to 90 degrees, fingers to the sky, and just find that spot that's comfortable, and you're going to rotate the back of the hand towards the roller, and then the palm towards the floor. So you're just rotating, and it's okay. It's good if it might not feel anything there. If your rear delta is good, you might feel something there if you've had any kind of shoulder injuries. Your head and neck is supported, your hips are on the floor, and we're just working our way up the arm. Keep on rotating, a couple more. Good. Now you're going to keep the palm down, and I want you to just slide the elbow up and down. So that tennis ball is still there. You're just sliding the hand, the fingertips towards the hips, and then bending the elbow, pulling it towards the roller. So you're straightening and bending the arm, but the palm stays facing the floor as the arm slides along your side. One more. Then you're going to bring the fingertips back up to the sky, rotate the palm the opposite way. Now the palm is facing the sky, and you're going to do that same movement. You're going to reach it upwards a little over the roller, and then back down, elbow comes towards the side. Make adjustments. If the roller's in your way a little bit or you need to get deeper, I'm starting to lean a little into it, towards my right side, into that tennis ball. If that makes it too intense, then lean off of the tennis ball. We're almost there. So as you roll that, the elbow comes down towards your hip, you might feel that tennis ball going towards the very top edge of that arm and shoulder connection. Right in there. Almost there. Because we wanted it to move a little. So bring it, if it's not there, make adjustments. Bring it to the very, very top. So it's right, if you put your fingers back there, you're going to feel a bone, the edge there. Bring it right below there. And then just make that rotation of the arm again. So the fingertips go towards the roller, and then they flip to go towards the hip, but the elbow stays bent. So as you go backward, you're going to feel it go into the top part. One last time. Good. And then you're going to release that tennis ball. Just let it sit there for a moment and bring that arm across the body. Stretch it out. Wiggle those fingers. So stretch that rear deltoid. Right in there where you're working. Let's swing that arm, bring it over the head, but bend the elbow and maybe push your fingertips towards the roller. So you're still stretching that area and a little bit of that tricep. Good. Now before we go to the other side, while you're here with that tennis ball, I want you to take the tennis ball and you're going to just place it on the very front now. So if you were on the edge of the shoulder, your tennis ball is going to be on the very front side, and there's a bone. If you use your fingers, kind of push around in there, you're going to find that bony part. You want the tennis ball right around that bony part, and you're going to draw little circles around it. The palm is up, and your arm is right next to your body. So then move that tennis ball gently down the arm towards the bicep. So you're right under that bone now. So as you're rotating little circles, push upward, just gently into that bone. Just gently, not hard. And then rotate that tennis ball, circle it down a little lower. Now at any time you start to feel something like a little trigger point sensation that doesn't feel comfortable, that's where you would pause the tennis ball and you're going to bend and straighten at the elbow. So you'd pull the palm up. If you don't feel anything, just keep working your way down with that tennis ball. Maybe you get to the meaty part of the bicep and you would lift the elbow off the floor and bend and straighten when you get to that meaty part. So you're going to feel that tennis ball, pressing gently into the bicep. And then even if you don't feel anything at all and your biceps are good, that's where I want you to find the meaty part. If you're not sure, make a fist and put that tennis ball right there in that meaty part. Relax the fist, then straighten and bend the arm. And then move that tennis ball down a little closer to the elbow. Bend and straighten again. And make those adjustments for whatever you have going on there. One more. Excellent. And then just give it a little shake. Shake it out. Now you're going to bring your arm back up 90 degrees, elbow on the floor, our elbows bent. Good. Slide your roller, if it's a long one, out of the way so you can bring your arm all the way back onto the floor. So the back of your hand is on the floor, 90 at the elbow, and it's right out from your shoulder. Good. And then bring that tennis ball back into that, right at that shoulder where we started at that bone, but you're going to go a little bit towards the chest wall here. And you're just going on the, again, finding the little bone there, come on the inside. So you're more on the chest wall, that soft part. If you're not sure, what you can do is grab hold of the muscle right at your armpit. Basically take your fingers, stick them in your armpit, and grab that whole area, and your thumbs on top, right at the armpit. That's where you want the tennis ball, right in there. And just draw little circles. So this affects our arm as well. A lot of attachments come up in this area. The anterior deltoid, the bicep comes up and connects up in here, deep into that shoulder. So many. The shoulder joint is probably one of the most complicated joints of the body. Make some adjustments if you want to rotate the arm down and back up as you press into that area. We could spend all day on the shoulder going into the different areas of it, but we have the other arm still to do. Couple more. I want you to rotate the palm down towards the hip. Press that arm straight down. Keep the tennis ball right where it is in that shoulder. And then gently pull the arm overhead, keeping the tennis ball where it is. And straight arm, push it down by your hip. Good. And lift. And just notice how the muscle changes right there. One more. Working out through the chest wall and that shoulder. And release. Excellent. So let's bend the elbow and hold on to your shoulder and do some movements through that arm. Excellent. Now we're going to switch sides, but right before we do, let's have you all come up and sit up nice and tall for a moment. So whatever arm you just worked, I mentioned before about taking your fingers and pushing them into your armpit. I know that sounds kind of weird, but this is really good for you. And your thumb is on the outside. So I'm on my right side. It doesn't matter, whatever side you just did, I did my right. We're going to use that arm. So you're holding on to your armpit, and I want you to gently pull down towards your chest wall and then press up away from it. And go and let your arm rest. Pull down and press up and pull down and press up. Go ahead and lift your arm up now. Palm is up. Arm is out from the shoulder, and do two more. Press up and press down. Push up, I should say push up, and push the muscle down. So it's a nice way just to release that area. Good. Now, one last stretch for the bicep. Bring the arm out to the side. Flex the wrist. Same arm. We're still on the same arm. Flex the wrist and then rotate the hand up and down. So the thumb comes forward, the thumb goes back, palm is open. So that's a great way just to stretch out that bicep. One more. And then release. Bring the arm across. Just give a little rest. Hold above the elbow. Wiggle those fingers. Now we're going to the other side. So we're going to go to the left. So we had worked our way up the tricep, coming all the way up the arm. So put your head on the roller like a pillow, and we had worked our way up the tricep. So when you get there, so again, we're finding just at the very top of that arm, and let the ball rest underneath, right at the top. So your elbow is going to be bent, your arm is palm up on the roller, or you can move the roller out of the way if you want it to go to the floor, and then I want you to rotate the palm downward and then up. Now you might find you have an impingement, like I said, shoulder injury, something might be going on in that arm compared to the other arm. That's okay. We're just going to experiment and see what we can find in there. And just rotate, rotate. Moving it around. Now, again, if you want to add a little more pressure on the area, you can tilt your body onto that tennis ball a little more to add that pressure. Leaning into it. So this side's not as intense for me, so I am able to add a little more pressure. You're not on a bone at all. You're in that meaty part. It just kind of melts into the back of that arm, and it feels like you're maybe in your back more than your arm, and that's okay. Then you're going to bring your palm down towards your hip, and I want you to straighten your hand towards the hip like we did before. If you need to hold the tennis ball like you feel like it's going to shoot out, it probably won't, but keep it there if you need to, and then bend the elbow, pull it up a little higher, palm stays down, slide the hand toward the hip. So you're going towards the very top of that arm there, right where that bone is at the top of your shoulder. There's a lot of connective tissue, rotator cuff, muscles. See, this changes things, doesn't it? One arm to the other, totally different. Couple more, reach and release. Who knew this could be intense, right? A tennis ball in the arm. Good. Now we're going to release that and go ahead and bring the elbow up one more time. Palm is up, and then do your rotation, up and down. Now that the tennis ball's a little higher up there on that arm. Good. How's everyone doing? Feeling the arm? Maybe things are releasing. If it's super intense, take that pressure off. This is something you never want to force. One last one. Hopefully you get rotation a little better. Good. Now, when we're done with that one, you're going to take the tennis ball out. Let the arm go next to the body. I want you to bring it right on the inside. And again, this is that area I told you, if you grab hold of your armpit, it's that soft area. Sorry, it's right above the soft area, because first we got to find the bone. And we're going to draw those circles. I forgot, we're not going to the chest yet. I'm getting ahead of myself. And then circle the other way. We got to do the bicep first, then we'll go to the chest wall. And your palm is up, your arm is straight out next to you, then we'll start to rotate down. I almost skipped the bicep there. It's a good thing. You'd all let me know, right? If I had skipped it. And then work your way down. Again, if you find a spot, straighten and bend. When you get to the meaty part of that bicep, that's when you would lift the arm off the floor and do a gentle bend and straighten of that arm. And I'm keeping my feet on the floor, knees bent, just to keep my back safe. Sometimes we tend to arch too much if we straighten out our legs. So go with what's comfortable to you. And moving that tennis ball down a little lower. Noticing the difference on this side compared to the other side. And you maybe have a spot. You can also rotate that palm up or down. And you can feel how the bicep controls and contributes to the movement. There's a lot of areas controlling and contributing to the movement of our fingers, our hands, our wrists. And you're going to move back up that bicep, coming back up. Then, okay, now we're going to that meaty part. If you grab that armpit, that meaty part, press that tennis ball there. We're going to bring the arm back to our 90-degree, palm up. And just start to draw little circles right there on that meaty part, right by the shoulder. You can rotate the arm a little. And then we'll bring the arm down next to the body. Palm is up, palm is down. And bring it back up. So play around with it. This side feels different for me, so it might feel different for you. So make those adjustments. Now we're going to release the tennis ball. And we're going to roll ourselves up. Good. And we're going to sit up tall because I want you to get in there. The thumb is up, fingertips into the armpit, and hold on to that area. Let your arm rest next to you somewhere first, and pull downwards towards your chest with the thumb, and then back up. And some of you might think this is very painful. Some of you are like, not a big deal. Again, that just shows that everybody's a little different on what we have going on. You can even bring the arm out to the side and notice the difference. Now, if you're missing lymph nodes, then you would be, of course, mindful of where you are pushing and pulling. If you've had breast implants or breast cancer, radiation, chemotherapy, all those things, you don't want to have any kind of incident with lymphedema. And that's a whole other one where you're doing the lymphatic massage. But maybe this can be part of your lymphatic massage, you just would not grab. And we're going to release a couple shoulder rolls. All right, so to finish things up, we're going to go back down to the roller, bringing your head to the roller. Good. And then we're going to bring that arm that we just did the back on. We're going to stretch it across. We have not done that one yet. Haven't stretched it after we rolled the back. Wiggle those fingers. And we're going to reach it overhead, press it back, stretch that tricep and back of that shoulder again. If there's an area that you feel like you need a little more work on, feel free to jump back to that area. Work on it again after we're done. And then release the arm next to the body. Good. So as you notice, we worked all this area coming up, but of course you know what else attaches down into the shoulder and affects the arm is the neck and all those muscles of the neck. So we're just going to turn our body just slightly, like 45 degrees to the left. Now when you're angled here, you're not dropping all the way to the hip. You want to be part way. So your feet are still flat on the floor and you're going onto your neck. So the base of your skull is securely on that roller, and you're not all the way on the side. So you don't want to have your ear touching the roller, and just a gentle chin tuck and release. So you're right on the meaty part of the neck here, right in there. If you're not sure, you can sit up and you can feel it where it would be, but I think you'll be able to feel it on that roller. And you want it to feel pretty good. Just a little massage there. And of course, the sternocleidomastoid attaches down there. That's, again, a whole nother one. That's when we get up into the jaw and the things like that. All right, last one. Let's go to the other side. So just roll your head to the right. Find that spot. Tilt your whole body slightly, about 45 degrees to the right. And then a gentle chin tuck. And release to get into those neck muscles. So hopefully your arms will have more power, mobility, blood flow to the fingertips where those ligaments and tendons are. One more chin tuck and release. Good. And then come back to center. Hug the knees into the chest. And you can roll to your side, or you could roll yourself all the way up and sit up nice and tall. Now when you come up, let's do some big elbow rolls, up, back, and down. So hopefully, if you have a bouncy ball, some of the things that we did on the bicep and the tricep with the tennis ball today, you are welcome to try that with the bouncy balls as well on your own sometime. Those are a great one. Just when you're sitting at the TV, you can just hold it here with a little one and get a little deeper, press release, and you don't even have to lay on the floor. So you can get into those tissues a little deeper. Extend the arm, the last arm we worked, out to the side because you want to do that little bicep stretch again. And so you're flexing at the wrist, the fingers are to the back, and you are kind of giving a sideways wave. And then bring both arms out, give it a double wave, flexing those wrists, fingers back. Just a great way to stretch all that tissue that we just worked. Make 2 fists now, and then bring your wrists forward, your knuckles forward, and back. So flexing and extending all the way through the wrists for the forearms, the front and back. And then turn your palms up, thumbs towards the back, stretching slightly through those whole pec muscles, wherever those attachments were. We also rolled and got those trigger points. Inhale, reach the arms. Good, grab the right wrist, gently pull to the left. Stretching it all in. Inhale to the other side, releasing. Let's hold on to the left wrist and pull it over to the right. And then release to center. Let both arms float back down. And your arms might feel a little bit tired now. Make sure you drink lots of water today. Eat some nutritious foods and nutrients to fulfill those nutrients that the arms are now needing in all that tissue. Because you massaged everything out, you got rid of some toxins in the arms, and yeah, you took care of you, some great self-care. Take a deep breath, inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, palms to heart space. Thank you so much for joining today. Namaste.